Hi, I'm Gary, Biker's PhD. We're going to talk more about camshafts today. Some of the misconceptions on how to get a bigger cam, and a lot of guys say, well, I want to put a cam in it, but I don't want to modify my cases because if I put a too big a cam in, then I got to modify my cases. So I want to talk about some of the misconceptions on cams, okay? The physical size of cams, not necessarily what the duration or lift is. You've only got so much room in between. This is where the cam goes. This is the lifter bearing, and this is where the cam goes, okay? So you've only got so much room to make a bigger cam. Okay, so let's talk about some of the misconceptions on with camshafts and why you need longer or shorter push rods, okay? So you have basically, and I'm no artist, but you have basically a base circle on the camshaft, okay? And then your lifter rides on that base circle, and then you have your push rod and it goes up here to your rocker arms and then your spring and your valve, okay? So this is a fixed position. You don't really change that, and that's determined by the valve, okay? And then your rocker arm, okay? So your push rod is here. This is your push rod, okay? So to make a bigger cam, and then here's your lobe. So to make a bigger cam, to have a stock replacement cam, let's talk about stock replacement cams. They have to keep this base circle, a bolt-in cam, you might read in and say it's a bolt-in cam. You have to keep the base circle the same, because if you make this base circle bigger or smaller, that's what affects the length of the push rod, okay? It's not necessarily the lift of the cam, has nothing to do with the length of the push rod. The length of the push rod is completely determined by the base circle of the cam, okay? So to make this cam actually bigger, you either have to make this larger and fit it within the space. So if you're keeping the base circle exactly the same, it's a stock bolt-in replacement. We don't have to replace the springs, or we don't have to replace the push rods. The base circle has to be very close to being the same as what the stock cam that came out of. They would have to physically make this bigger to get more lift. And that's a lot of times when you put a stock bolt-in replacement cam, they will hit down here. You can see, I don't know if you can see in there very good, but we've actually had to modify this. This has actually been bored out. We're putting big cylinders on it and make it into a 124. But you'll have this problem even with a bolt-in camshaft. It's always important to check that. And I'm going to do a later video on how to check that, some of the better ways I use to check it, easy ways to check it and do that and modify it, okay? So to make this cam bigger, what they do, so say you want to put a really big cam in this, what they do is they make this actual base circle smaller. That's why the push rod gets longer, so that makes this actually have more, even though the physical size of the cam didn't really get any bigger, the base circle got smaller, so you get more lift, you get a bigger camshaft. So I hope that answered some of the questions on the physical size of the camshaft. We're going to do a lot more videos on camshaft and just explain some of the myths, some of the wrong ideas, or give you enough education, hopefully, so that you can pick out a good camshaft and know what you're doing when you're going to go put that camshaft in. Please subscribe if you want to keep up with where we're going with this. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. God bless.